I know it's a young season, but you got to start there. Really just shoots the three extremely well. You can't foul him because he makes his free throws. So you got to start there. It looks like, early in the game, you're going to have to decide who you want on him. I think it's Oziyah Sellers that's going to get the assignment.
Some of these numbers are off the charts for NAU through the first couple of games. But remember, you got to keep in mind the competition. They're a plus 25.5 per game on the glass.
Well, you take you take it for now, but now you're going to play Stanford in their gym. A little different game.
Going inside for NAU, Carson Tout underneath in the game's first points for the Lumberjacks.
Well, sometimes when you play a three-point shooting team, you have opportunities to drive. You pressure at the three, and you're giving up shots at the rim, just as what happened on the last possession.
Stanford coming off that win against Fullerton on Friday, where they got off to a slow start, then found their rhythm. Here is Jalen Blakes from deep, and he misses a three, and the rebound batted around, and on the floor with it, Oakland Fort of NAU, and he's tied up by Blakes, and will stay at this end. It goes back to the Cardinal.
Well, that's good hustle. I mean, Jalen Blakes knew that his shot was off. Again, he has not made a three on the season, so he's looking for that first one to drop, but he knew he was off, and what did he do? He raced in, got his own, get his hands on the ball, tied it up to save a possession.
And that's not necessarily his strength. He's more of a go to the basket, slash ins, look to pass inside kind of a player, as a errant pass from Chisamak Parr, and NAU counters the other way. And they go to Carson Tout again. Off a screen and a baseline jumper by Trent McLaughlin. 4-0 Northern Arizona.
Well, you have to know where he is, and he's coming off screens. He's tough. I mean, you got to make him a driver. He's so good at it with his range.
Pass deflected out by Ryan Abelman of the Lumberjacks, and it's Stanford ball on the baseline. But NAU shot 55.5% through the first two games, close to 38% from three. This is a skilled team. They can't shoot. Oziyah Sellers, who was terrific in the opener against Denver, career high 24, struggled offensively against Cal State Fullerton, trying to get on track here for the Cardinals. Jaden Jackson, and a pass inside to Carson Tout, and he sees the 7-footer Maxime Raynaud and kicks it out. 5 to shoot for the Lumberjacks. The pull-up jumper, and it rattles in. Oakland Fort makes it 6-0 NAU.
Not the start that Kyle Smith wants to have his Cardinal staring at here, down 6-0. Again, defensively, he wants his team to step up and take the challenge.
Maxime Raynaud on the baseline, and the weak side rebound, Chisamak Parra for the Cardinal. The kick out to Benny Geeler. Right, a career high 20 against Cal State Fullerton, making 6 threes, all 20 points in the second half against the Titans, missing the step back. Trent McLaughlin clears it for NAU.
Well, you can see Stanford's a little bit off kilter here. They're just kind of rushing themselves. When you don't get stops, Roxy, it puts pressure on you offensively to try to make something happen.
Stanford making a little bit of a tweak in the starting lineup tonight, as Chisamak Parra came off the bench the first couple of games. Starting tonight, Aiden Cameron will come off the bench, and the reverse lay-in for Oakland Fort. 8-0 NAU and an early timeout. Kyle Smith wants a 30, we'll take a 30. Great start for the Lumberjacks on the road at Maples. So Stanford in an early 8-0 hold to Northern Arizona. When Kyle Smith, Ben, takes a timeout like that, what is he trying to do with his ball club?
Well, there's no doubt, Roxy, that he's settling his team down and saying, look, we need to get some stops. We've allowed this team to put 8 points on the board. Our shot may not be falling, and we've turned it over. We've made some miscues, but let's at least start on the defensive end. Now you put less pressure on yourself offensively.
Stanford still looking for the first points on the drive, and a foul committed by NAU. As Jalen Blake's aggressively going to the basket, and it's on Trent McLaughlin of Northern Arizona.
Well, Roxy, I think they can get this pretty much anytime they want. Jalen Blakes can put the ball down, beat his defender, and get to the basket for either a finish, a foul shot, or maybe a dish. So they can get this going offensively. Their challenge so far has been to keep and they've allowed Lumberjacks to come down and pretty much score at will. So tough team to guard, no question. But you've got to really establish yourself and get some consistency on that end of the floor.
Jalen Blake breaks the seal for Stanford, hits both free throws. Blake's already, early in the season, has been a frequent visitor to the foul line. The grad transfer from Duke. Carson Tout bangs his way in against Maxime Raynaud. But the offensive rebound, Ryan Abelman inside, and NAU has a fresh shot clock.
I was going to tell you that was a great possession, but if you don't seal it, seal the deal with the rebound, it's not a great possession.
Ryan Abelman rims out of three. Jalen Blake's the rebound. Here come the Cardinal. Blake spots up, and he can't get the three to go, and a foul going for the rebound, and it's on Northern Arizona underneath, and Ryan Abelman called for the push.
Well, again, you know, the shot doesn't go in, but you can see that the Lumberjacks concerned about Stanford going to the glass and having to foul to give up the shot. But, you know, you can chart it almost every time, Roxy. When you're not playing and getting stops defensively, your offense struggles. It's the way it goes. So you've got to come back here and change the momentum.
Couple of subs for Shane Burkhardt in Northern Arizona. As in the game, Dylan Baker, the JC transfer from Tucson, as Benny Geeler launches a three. And the rebound grabbed by Dylan Baker. Last year was a third-team junior college All-American. And also in the game for NAU is the 7-footer from Egypt, Ali Ragab. And attacking the basket, and NAU makes it 10-2. As it's Trent McLaughlin a little bit late getting back up the floor after he went down. Oziyah Sellers rattles in the first field goal for Stanford.
Well, that's great they're on the board, though. But, Roxy, they've got to solve it defensively because they're still struggling to keep the Lumberjacks off the board. They're scoring almost every possession.
5 for 7 from the floor for Northern Arizona to start this one. Now McLaughlin missing a three. Carson Tout the offensive rebound. And the kick out for NAU. Trent McLaughlin, and the kick to Dylan Baker, who launches. Three!
Roxy, if there's any question about the Lumberjacks' ability to score, we talked about Division II. Forget about it. I don't care what division. You got to get out and you got to guard shooters because they're setting themselves up from the perimeter and scoring it.
Maxime Raynaud goes to work on the baseline.
And they'll be able to get that shot. Raynaud can establish himself and his presence down there, but you better try to make it easier down here. This is where they've got to work.
Jaden Jackson on the drive, and it's a foul called against Stanford, but a terrific start on the road. Trent McLaughlin getting it going for NAU.
He can score to the basket, Roxy. Watch his action, but then it's Sellers coming down and knocking down the shot, trying to keep the Cardinal close. We got a tough one here. Stanford trails. High 7.
That's going to be a fun matchup to watch tonight. Oziyah Sellers for Stanford, Trent McLaughlin, the first-team All-Big Sky performer for NAU last year. Those are two guys that can really fill it up.
Well, they've got to step up. I mean, you know, early in the season, you know, your chemistry struggles some ways offensively, but defensively, you've got to try to get your identity, get your staple going.
Jaden Jackson gets inside, powering his way up, and the miss from Ali Ragab, and Stanford with the rebound.
Well, Stanford's got size now. They've got a 6'10" and 7-footer inside, coming off the bench, and he's been a starter, so they're going to have some size in there, but now they're going to have to see if they can, you know, try to find some easy ones offensively.
And now Ragab blocks the shot of Maxime Raynaud. And the 7-footer goes right back at the NAU 7-footer and draws the foul. And 2 free throws for Maxime Raynaud. And the first against Ali Ragab, who spent last year at West Virginia redshirted. Played his first 2 years at Gannett University, a Division II school in Pennsylvania. And now is at Northern Arizona and has the unenviable task of trying to guard Maxime Raynaud.
Well, he did a good job on the first look, but give Maxime credit, Roxy. He went in and fouled his shot, and that's important. You came up short, but you're shooting the ball. You're going to know where the ball is going to come off, and he did a nice job. And by the way, we had the luxury, and I say that we really had the luxury of getting
Philippe and Vanessa Raynaud.
Yeah, the Raynauds are here, and just got in, for the last game, and now, and they're excited.
They're going back to Paris tomorrow.
Well, they're excited. They came in here to watch their son play, and that's a big treat for them. Come by here and support their son, but just had a great conversation with them pregame, and it's great to see the your family out here supporting you when you're a long way from home.
I love how you didn't waste any time trying to garner some French Open tickets.
No, don't be silly. I didn't. That's going to happen after the game. Trust me, I'm not going to do it pregame. I'll wait for after the game. We'll talk about it.
Shot clock down to 5. Here's Trent McLaughlin. Launches. And the rebound. There is Maxime Raynaud. Jalen Blakes moves in. Raynaud thought about the 3. Now down the lane.
Roxy, maybe his parents should come on a little more often. I mean, that's the rebound, a missed shot opportunity. A pass out to Raynaud, and the Red Sea parted, and he knew what to do with it.
6 of Stanford's 10 for Maxime Raynaud. Monty Bowser in the game, the Bay Area native for NAU, who spent the last couple of years at Cal. And transferring to NAU is Dylan Baker. Misfires from deep, and another rebound for Raynaud.
Well, Roxy, you can see how important defense is. You get stops, you have opportunities to come down and score.
Ryan Agarwal the kick out. And a 3 from the corner. Aiden Cameron, his first career 3. And the redshirt freshman, 9-0 run for Stanford. Timeout, Northern Arizona. And the Cardinal got their wake-up call.
Oh, they did. And, Cameron got his wake-up call coming off the bench, and he comes in the game, and he spots up, and guess what? First 3, boom, bottoms. Gotta love it, Roxy. You want to see Maxime Raynaud in the full court, and he can get going too. Obviously, you like what he does. He gets the perimeter. You got to honor his 3, and boy, he gets to the rim, and with authority.
But Maxime Raynaud already 6 points and 4 rebounds. And Stanford, who was down 9, has scored 9 straight to tie the game, as NAU has been scoreless for about 3 minutes now. But you're right, it's about getting stops, Ben, and that's what's fueled the Stanford team, as for about the first 6 minutes of this game, NAU came away with just 1 empty possession.
Well, Roxy, I've been in Kyle Smith's shoes many times, as you know, and if you're going to get out here and try to match baskets with NAU, you may not match baskets. So what you can try to do, and you should do, is try to dominate the game on the defensive end. That's got to be your staple, your badge of consistency.
And a foul called on Stanford. And it's a push on Jalen Blakes of the Cardinal, his first.
I like aggressive fouls. I don't like them away from the ball, especially 40 feet away. But, in scoring area, guys going to make a move. You got to be aggressive, use your body. But I like that Stanford's picked it up defensively. And Blakes is a guy that, that cannot afford to get in foul trouble. He's got to watch his fouls.
Monty Bowser in the corner. And the weak side rebound, Oziyah Sellers for Stanford, and a foul going for the rebound. And it's whistled against Northern Arizona. And the push against Jack Wistrasil, sophomore from Salt Lake City.
Well, Stanford dodged a little bit of a bullet too, Roxy. Monty Bowser wide open from the corner. He's usually a pretty solid shooter. But I do like the defense now. Stanford's, they're digging in, they're playing on a string, and they're communicating, they're playing a little bit better, making it tougher for NAU to score.
Maxime Raynaud from outside. 9 for Raynaud, and Stanford has scored 12 straight.
Well, he's dealing with the Stanford student section behind us. They're pretty smart guys. He doesn't need to show them their 3-point. They know their 3-point shots, but he's reminding them that was 3. I love it.
First lead for the Cardinal. Carson Tout moves in. And the quick jump hook, and Raynaud elevates for the rebound. And Maxime Raynaud is dominating right now at both ends of the floor.
Well, he's making it hard to go over the top of him. You get one shot, and he's securing the defensive rebound. Great job individually by Maxime Raynaud.
Here he is again. Spinning. And the miss. Oakland Fort the rebound. Here come the Lumberjacks. NAU this season picked right in the middle of the Big Sky. Preseason poll, they were picked 5th. Oakland Fort from distance. Rebound number 6 for Maxime Raynaud. Danny Keeler turns the corner. Finds a cutting Oziyah Sellers, and he cleans it up himself.
That's a great look, Roxy, by Maxime Raynaud. Just, denied the handoff. He back cut, and he found him right at the rim.
14-0 run for Stanford. And Trent McLaughlin's the guy they're looking to end this drought. Oakland Fort. Carson Tout on the block. And the step back. And the rebound underneath. Missing a putback is Wistrasill, and a foul going for the rebound on Northern Arizona. Right now, Stanford, after the sluggish start, has found their game.
Well, they're doing it too. Now they're heating it up out here. Raynaud with the big 3, obviously. Love that he's in the game, but they're getting the stops. They're getting the shots. 3-point, count it, Stanford with the lead.
Arizona. And then Maxime Raynaud is taking the game over, and a 14-0 run for the Cardinal as Maxime Raynaud 9 points, 6 rebounds. And Stanford with the ball, and now an extended pressure from NAU.
Well, you know what, Roxy, you're going to look at the offense, but it was Maxime Raynaud that was able to defend one-on-one. That's a luxury when you have a 7-footer that doesn't need a double team. He defends, you have to go over the top of him, then he secures the rebound. That enabled Stanford to get into their offense and get some good looks.
Over the top for Raynaud. And he banks it in, and it's 16 in a row for the Cardinal.
Well, that's Aiden Cameron coming in, Roxy, and immediately knowing where their bread is buttered. He's going high-low, hard to defend up there, and right over the top. They try to front Raynaud, and that's tough to do. He can score over the top of you.
Trent McLaughlin. Jaden Jackson missing a corner 3. Benny Keeler the rebound. Stanford getting the rebound, one and done, and now executing here at the other end of the floor. Ryan Agarwal. And the rebound tipped around, and NAU controls. Carson Tout the rebound for the Jacks. Trent McLaughlin stepping out for 3 and finally ends the drought for NAU.
Well, that's why you can't relax on the Lumberjacks, because just when you think they're in a low, Roxy, they're in a little bit of rut, they got a guy by the name of McLaughlin that can just bring them out of it in a hurry.
He has 7, and that ends the 16-0 run for the Cardinal. Ryan Agarwal, 5 to shoot. Benny Keeler, the runner. And the rebound, Agarwal tries to keep it alive, but NAU rips it away, and a foul. And it's on Northern Arizona. Or are they getting it on Agarwal? And it is on Ryan Agarwal of Stanford, his first.
Roxy, that's 2 really good defensive possessions for Northern Arizona, where Stanford couldn't get quite what they wanted to get. And now it's, players figured it out. And the coaching staff, I'm sure, NAU brought it up as well. We got to get some stops, because Stanford's starting to get in their rhythm. And that was 2 very good defensive possessions.
Maxime Raynaud getting a breather right now. And a well-deserved rest. Corner 3, Ryan Abelman. And the long rebound, Benny Gieler brings it up for Stanford. And Benny Gieler draws contact and will get to the line. His first free throw attempts of the season. But Shane Burkhardt, Northern Arizona off to a good start. Stanford weathered the storm, and now it's the Cardinal up on NAU by 4.
Okay, sir. So take me through one more time. Elijah, you said you're going to do this. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, do that. I like that. Yeah, that's smart. Good job, Elijah. Good job, man. You got it. Make me look good. Hard to do. I used to be. I don't know. I'm going to test him now. I hope he doesn't get amnesia. That's an adjustment for Roxy when he's here. He's got all these guys he carries during the season. Then I have to come here and carry him. So he knows he can take a break, relax a little bit. No, good stuff, Elijah. That's really, all seriousness. That's great stuff. I'll have fun with this one. Freeze it. No, I won't do that. Don't put a telestrator in my hand, because that'll be a disaster. I did that once and I wiped the whole screen. It went blank. Oops. Yeah, don't do that. Say, Coach, can you use a telestrator? Oh, absolutely. Tell her what?
Can you use it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, I can, but. I see Seth Greenberg using that all the time. Okay, so just take it. Well, Roxy, watch what Stanford's doing now. They get almost a flat ball screen. It was Raynaud setting it and slipping it, which was a great move. And even Cameron at the top, just there's a high-low. You got to respect him at the top. He just hit a 3. So now you've got the bottom side. He's pinning him, and he's got it right over the top for a layup. That's just really good action.
Benny Gieler, 2 shots. And one more coming. And the other advantage, you have Aiden Cameron at 6'10", making the entry pass over Jaden Jackson, who's 6'4".
Well, that's exactly what they thought, would be a staple for Stanford this year. And I like that Aiden Cameron now is handling himself pretty well coming off the bench. He started 2 games, comes off the bench, and he's right away hit a 3, made an assist, and he's hustling on the defensive end.
Northern Arizona has made one of their last 11 shots after they made 6 of their first 9.
Well, Stanford's in his zone now, Roxy. They're going to the 2-3. They played this under Kyle Smith, but it doesn't make any difference to McLaughlin. In his zone, you must locate him. I don't care whatever the 4 guys are doing on the floor. Zone, man, find McLaughlin.
Second 3 for McLaughlin, cuts the Stanford lead in half. Aiden Cameron off the entry pass from Ryan Agarwal, and Cameron already with a career-high 5 points.
Well, he's playing with a lot more comfort and confidence than he had in the first 2 games. Stanford sticks in that zone.
Pass deflected by Blakes, recovered by NAU. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. And a steal, Ryan Agarwal coming from the blind side. Agarwal moves in. Agarwal and one.
Great body control, Roxy. You can see it by Agarwal. He leans in, avoids the charge because the defender was still moving and counts it. Chance for three, but again, it's being fueled by the defense. The Stanford zone was able to have players on the perimeter challenging at the three-point line, yet when they tried to drive, there was always a 1.5 defenders down, and they made the steal and it went the other way.
Agarwal, who took a red shirt last year, played in 5 games. Shot his threes at 46% as a freshman. The 4-star recruit from Texas. And Agarwal gets the old school three-point play, now 4 for 6 from the line this season. And it's the largest lead of the night for the Cardinal.
Well, you see Stanford now going from the 2-2-1 back into the 2-3. They feel comfortable in this, maybe not having to get through as many screens if you're playing against Northern Arizona.
Ryan Abelman missing the pull-up, but the rebound tipped out to Abelman. McLaughlin curls off the screen. And missing the pull-up jumper, and the rebound batted around, and it's Agarwal controlling it for Stanford. Oziyah Sellers attacks, and Sellers on the drive.
I like that move by Oziyah Sellers, Roxy. He's really tough on the wing. He's got very little help on the side of the floor there, and he drives it, finishes it. Good body control.
He's got 6. Stanford recovering from that early start where they were down 9, and now they're up 10 with 5.5 to go still in this first half.
They're back in the man now.
Trent McLaughlin. And there's Abelman on the rebound for NAU. Carson Tout bumped by Aiden Cammon. And that's the first on the redshirt freshman from Andover, Massachusetts.
Well, you see Oziyah Sellers, Roxy, on the wing. He's a threat from 3, so you try to get away and take away his 3 on the approach, the closeout, but it doesn't work because he's so good off the dribble. You give him an angle, he will beat you to the basket.
Stanford 7 straight now after NAU cut it to 3. And it's 25-6 for the Cardinal over about the last 10 minutes.
Well, it starts on this end, and that's when they've turned this game around. They've got stops.
Carson Tout, too strong, and Oziyah Sellers the rebound. Now they double Maxime Raynaud. Oziyah Sellers makes it pay for the double team.
Roxy, that's a clinic. I mean, that's just how you beat double teams. The ball never stuck. You know that Raynaud's going to get double teamed. They doubled on the catch. He immediately threw it to the slot, and they were 2-on-1 on the backside out top. Great job.
10-0 run. Now a foul. It's on Northern Arizona. And Jalen Blake creating a turnover. Jaden Jackson picks up his second.
There's the ball movement I was talking about. Roxy, you get into Raynaud, you forget that Maxime Raynaud is a pretty good assist guy. He's got 7 assists first 2 games. He had 6 in 1 game, so he can throw the ball on the perimeter and find you if you spot up. But I like the defense of Blake's. Roxy, I think that this year, that's a luxury that Stanford's going to have. They're going to put Jalen Blake's on the opposing team's best guard, whether he's the off guard or lead guard, and try to get him to slow or stop their best player.
Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. First road game and the first D1 opponent for Northern Arizona.
Back to the zone.
Stepping up to the line, Jack Wistrasil had a good look, and he chases down the miss. To the basket, and with the spin, Dylan Baker with the bucket.
Yeah, not in the sink on that possession, Roxy. At any point in the zone, you've got to get some possessions, and that's the first they played this. So that possession, they didn't communicate. A couple of guys were wide open.
Chizimak Para, and the shot blocked by Jaden Jackson. Out of bounds, stays with Stanford. 3:49 left in the half, and Stanford, after a rough start, has taken control.
Well, there's a block for NAU, but it's still Stanford is battling back. up by 11.
They finished in second in the Pac-12 last year. And Kyle Smith, who also was the head coach at Columbia, where he won a CBI championship 3 years up the road at USF, and now back in the Bay Area, where he spent a lot of his career, not just at USF and Stanford, but also an assistant at St. Mary's for Randy Bennett, as Ryan Agarwal hits his third three of the season, and it's Stanford by 14.
Well, Roxy, his teams have been known, Kyle Smith, for defense, but they've also been known over the years for three-point shooting proficiency. And you can see right there, Agarwal gives Stanford an identity, too, with great spacing on the floor. You work on that at practice. You know you're going to get double-teamed on the block, so you've got to get guys in the right positions.
And then Ryan Agarwal blocks the shot of Ryan Abelman. Benny Keeler from the Tara Vanderveer court logo. Benny Keeler, who hit 6 threes last Friday against Cal State Fullerton.
Well, you know what? Maybe early in the year he doesn't take that shot. When you come off of 5 or 6 in a row in your last game, you fire it, Roxy. You let it go. Why not?
The ball fake, and then Trent McLaughlin the miss. Secured by Maxime Raynaud. Raynaud's had a double-double in each of the first 2 games, 11 points, 7 rebounds already in this one, and now a foul on Ryan Abelman that will put Benny Keeler at the line.
Well, here's the spacing we talked about, the double team, the rotation, and now you're 2-on-1, and that was a great spot up by Agarwal at the top. Now Ryan Agarwal can do something too. He's long, he's athletic. He not only blocks the shot, but keeps it in play. And then Benny Keeler says, well, you know, why not? I mean, we gotta keep things real here, and he's feeling it still. He hasn't cooled off, Rox.
Might have to put a B next to the Tara Vanderveer court logo on the court, because Benny Keeler's been hitting shots from that logo, even though it's the first game that you and I have been here for the unveiling of the Tara Vanderveer court logo, which was on Sunday against Gonzaga and Stanford women's victory. But Benny Keeler's, that's like a spot on the floor for him.
Well, it is now. I mean, now it's got a name to it. Before we might have thought it was a Benny Keeler spot, but no, that was just, he's renting that spot. That's not his permanent spot, but just great depth on the perimeter shots.
He's leasing with an option to buy.
That's right.
And a steal by Trent McLaughlin, and Stanford trying to break out, and the goaltend. Maxime Raynaud give the bucket to Trent McLaughlin.
Yeah, and he knows. Maxime knows, shaking his head like, oh boy. Sometimes you just wish he'd get it back, and you know, you're playing a great game. I mean, he's playing a great game, but that's just unfortunate there, and that's a giveaway for 2.
Benny Keeler weaving in, sets up Oziyah Sellers. Stanford is 6 for 10 from 3.
Well, we talked about their ability to shoot 3, but now you can see that they're spacing the floor. They're using their penetration and pitch, and you've got to be in the right spot if you're going to make that successful.
The lead is 20, and Oziyah Sellers has 12. Seven to shoot for the Jacks. Monty Bowser. And challenged by Ryan Agarwal, but a foul is called on Stanford, and the second on Agarwal will put Monty Bowser at the line for Northern Arizona.
Well, you know, Stanford couldn't have played that possession any better than they did, Roxy. However, until the last part, you can see you just challenge up. That was going to be a tough shot, and the follow-through right on Monty Bowser's arm. You know, you got to play the possessions down to the last play.
Bowser, who played his high school ball across the bay for the outstanding coach Lou Ritchie over at Bishop O'Dowd. In 3 years at Cal, including a medical redshirt season. And then former NAU guard, a little assist to him, Jalen Cone helped Monty Bowser get to Northern Arizona. Well, as Cone, grad transfer, played at Cal last season with Bowser.
Yeah, and you know, and I've known Monty Bowser his whole career. And my son, my daughter have gone to camps for Lou Ritchie, and it's kind of been in the family. But I can tell you this, he comes from a great program, great family. You know, he's a winner, and had a chance to visit with him before the game today. But, you know, you always root for a player to get a chance to play his 5th year and get playing time, get in the mix, you know, and he's got that opportunity here. So you root for his success.
lane violation on Maxime Raynaud. That's why Bowser's getting another chance. And he takes advantage of the gift from Raynaud.
You know, Rux, you see more and more players around the country now. They're grad transfers. They've played, and they get a chance their last year to get to another school. And so it's amazing to see how many players use that last year to really contribute and have put their stamp on another program.
Maxime Raynaud, the pump fake, the drop in.
Love the footwork, Roxy. He's going over a 7-footer, so that's not easy, but he really used his footwork and his freeze fake, pump fake, to get an easy one.
Stanford by 21. Final minute of this first half. Remember, they were down 9 early, and stepping on the sideline, a turnover. Oakland Fort gives it back to the Cardinal.
Well, give Kyle Smith really deserves credit. I mean, a lot of coaches don't want to call that timeout. They kind of get stubborn. I know I used to say, well, we're gonna play our way out of it. You know what? 8-0. Kyle Smith said, I've seen enough. I thought that message got sent to his team the minute he called the timeout, and the results took place.
Benny Keeler. And the offensive rebound flying in. Jalen Blakes for the Cardinal. Keeler again. He just needs to get to the logo.
Yeah, he's tired of the logo, Roxy. He's been there, done that. He wanted to go from this tree to the outskirts of the tree of the center of the court. You know, you got to applaud a guy that's feeling it. And you see the Stanford bench, they're not going to question that because he's playing great basketball for his team. Stanford is 7 for 12 from 3.
Oakland Fort, the pull-up, got it. 5 seconds left in the half. One last chance for Stanford. Jalen Blakes at the horn. And that'll take us to halftime. Stanford recovers from a sluggish start. And then they take this game over. And Stanford shooting the 3 well, but holding NAU to 34% from the floor.
Well, you're going to remember these shots. There's no question, Roxy. It's great that they're going down. But really, again, the story of the game hasn't been the shots. It's been the defense, because they've made it awfully tough for the NAU Lumberjacks to get good looks in the basket. And if they can get one shot done, Stanford can rebound. They've got size. Now they can come down and they can.
7 for 12 from 3 in the first half. 3 Cardinal in double figures, 13 for Maxime Raynaud, 12 for Oziyah Sellers, and Benny Keeler with 10. While Trent McLaughlin leading Northern Arizona with 12.
I always like to see how players come out in the second half after building up a lead. Do they get amnesia, or they go right back to the defense that they were playing to get their lead?
Carson Tout, nice find on the baseline. The reverse lay in Oakland Fort for the Jacks.
Give NAU credit. They came out and they said, look, we're going to go back. We scored early in the game. We're going to score early in this half, and they did.
Out of the double team. Early in the game, NAU was playing them straight up, and then they learned their lesson. Oziyah Sellers through the key. And stumbling in an errant pass, and Chisholm Akpara throws it away. NAU pushes it back. Oakland Fort spots up in the corner and a 3, and Fort has 5 quickly here in the second half, and a little spurt for the Lumberjacks.
And this is how the game started, Roxy. There's no difference. This is exactly how the game started when the Cardinal found themselves down by 8, and Kyle Smith having to burn a timeout early.
Chisholm Akpara, strong move to the basket.
And that's what he can do. Difference on that play, Roxy, is he didn't, he put the ball down in the middle of the floor. Not a lot of help. Everybody one pass away, no help, and he got to the rim and finished.
First points tonight for Chisholm Akpara. Oakland Fort, Stanford lost him. Fort missing the 3, and Akpara seals him from the rebound.
Cardinal fortunate. There was a wide open Fort too. Knocked the last shot down. So fortunate that he didn't go 2 for 2 here.
Chisholm Akpara launching a 3, and the rebound batted free, and NAU controls, and it's McLaughlin.
I think Kyle Smith, you can see, read a little body language. We'd like to see Akpara take that ball to the basket and not settle for 3s, because he can do that and get to the line. That's something he did very well for Harbor.
Oakland Fort at the elbow.
He's tough, Roxy. When he gets in that mid-range game, you know, for a small guy, he really has good body balance. He's quick with the ball, and so he pulls up. You know, you're going to have to guard him one-on-one, and with very little help. He's tough to guard.
Two-time academic All-Big Sky selection, Oakland Ford, the junior from Phoenix. Jalen Blakes, the burst down the lane, and then left it short. And now here comes Northern Arizona. And a pull-up three by Ryan Abelman. And Kyle Smith takes an early timeout. The Lumberjacks with a spurt to start the second half. NAU, a 10-2 run to start the second half. Okay.
Yeah, no, let's talk about that. Oh, he was tough. He's so tough.
And fueled for NAU by Oakland Fort.
Yeah, Roxy, NAU erased a 22-point halftime lead behind Oakland Ford, and his ability to get into the seams and open areas on the floor, and he made Stanford pay. So now Stanford, again, with reminiscent of the first half, has to burn another timeout. And Kyle Smith's got to address his team again about getting back to the defensive side of things.
NAU 4 for 5 from the floor to start the second half. A couple of threes in that 10-2 run. As the Cardinal go inside to Maxime Raynaud, fading away on the baseline.
Well, I think, again, I said this earlier, Maxime Raynaud can get that shot. That's where there's quite an advantage on the floor, but this is where they this is where they have to really meet their match and challenge. And Stanford really started out in the zone, now they're back to man. It was a 2-3 matchup, and now they're back to the man.
And a smaller lineup on the floor for Kyle Smith, with Ryan Agarwal playing the 4 spot right now. Because NAU goes with a smaller lineup and Stanford countering. And the leaner missed by Ryan Abelman. There is Agarwal, the rebound for the Cardinals.
He's quietly had a good game here for the Stanford.
Benny Keeler looking for contact, and good defense by Trent McLaughlin for Northern Arizona. And a foul off the ball as Maxime Raynaud called for knocking over Jack Wistrasil of Northern Arizona. First on Raynaud.
Here, Rox, you see Maxime Raynaud on the block, and again, if you choose not to double him, they've doubled him almost every touch. He can do that. He can get his shot. And usually you don't double the baseline, you double middle. He took what the defense gave him, scored it towards the baseline.
Nice drop off and find Trent McLaughlin to Carson Tout.
Roxy, Trent McLaughlin's a problem. I mean, and Stanford knows it, because when you put 2 guys on him trying to stop his progress to the basket, he dropped off for the easy two.
Jalen Blakes, the crossover, and the lay-in from Blakes.
Well, speaking of problems, I think Jalen Blakes says, look, I'm a problem too. You're going to have to guard me one-on-one. That's hard to do. Really quick.
And a whistle off the ball and a hold on Ryan Agarwal inside of the Cardinal, his 3rd foul.
You can see how quick Jalen Blakes is to the basket. Herky, jerky, show and go, but finish when they need you. Stanford still up 54-38.
16-point margin. Stanford is led by as many as 24 in this game. With Ben Braun and our ACC network crew, Roxy Bernstein with you at Maples Pavilion. And NAU, strong start to the second half, trying to force their way back into this game. Have outscored Stanford 12-6 since the break. Deflected out by the Cardinal.
Well, Roxy, Stanford went to zone out of bounds, and that seemed to confuse NAU, and I think they might have caught a break. Not sure. I saw a deflection there, but they're giving the ball back to the Lumberjacks. That's twice in a row now that they've had problems getting the ball in, and this defense now of Stanford's digging in just a little bit harder.
Maxime Raynaud didn't feel he touched it. The officials got it right.
Yeah, well, they usually do. Not when I coach, but they do from here, Roxy, 99% of the time. Amazing how good the officials really are.
Veteran official Greg Nixon working with Connor Morrissey and James Ford tonight, ACC officials. As Carson Tout goes to work on Aiden Kamen, and the second foul on Kamen for a push.
Well, Kamen's 6'10", Roxy. He's a very agile player, and he's going to learn as the season goes on. He can move his feet, make it very difficult for people to score over him, but he's got to do that. You know, you tend to play defense with your hands and your body. You've got to get your feet moving.
Spotting up a clean look, and Trent McLaughlin buries it for Northern Arizona.
Well, how important is it not to give NAU an extra opportunity with a foul call or whatever, because McLaughlin knows how to make you burn you and make you play.
You can't leave that guy open. Maxime Raynaud isolated. Backing his way in, and with the left hand, Maxime Raynaud.
Well, Roxy, as have you covered Maxime Raynaud for quite a while, and he does that. If you're watching him for the first time, say he has a good left hand, or he uses his left maybe better than his right. Very ambidextrous when it comes to getting a shot off inside.
Foul on the drive, and the push called on Oziyah Sellers of Stanford.
Well, you watch Maxime Raynaud, senses he's one-on-one in the post, and he spins where there's no help, and he knows that. So he goes to the baseline. That's a tough shot for most people going over their right shoulder, but he really uses his left hand extremely well.
Trent McLaughlin a fadeaway. And there's Ryan Agarwal pulling the rebound down. Back in the game.
Yeah, good job by
Stanford, and it just seems good things are happening when Agarwal's on the floor.
Now, Roxy, he's active, and he does a nice job of spotting up, finding the open seam, and knocking down three-point shot right on cue. Thank you very much. How'd you know that?
It's not my first rodeo, Ben.
Yeah.
I've been around this game a little while.
Yes, you have, my man.
18-point lead, and Agarwal with 9. He had 9 in the opener against Denver. Carson Tout shovels it inside, and there's Ryan Agarwal out of the pack for the Cardinal. Benny Keeler, and kept alive by Aiden Kamen in the hustle for Stanford.
Yeah, Cal Smith wants him to get into offense here, not settle. They've got some mismatches on the floor, but Agarwal says, how about that for a mismatch? Roxy, what was I doing letting you announce all those games those years I coached? You should have been in the locker room coaching. You seem to know a lot of things and how to pinpoint when players get it going.
Career high 12 for Agarwal, and the lead is 21 for Stanford. And a timeout for Northern Arizona as Ryan Agarwal has fueled the Stanford push, an 8-0 run.
Well, you know, Roxy, you called it, and you talked about it. You know, obviously, big fella coming off here and knocking down shots. I mean, he really spots up, and he's feeling it now. I love the action here. Ryan Agarwal just playing confidently. Look, he's not, that's not for the faint of heart either, way out there. But you got to give your players freedom. And I like that Kyle Smith and his staff have really gotten behind this young man, this sophomore from Texas. I mean, they're letting him, really giving him the green light. He's making use of it.
So career high 12 for Agarwal. A couple of years ago as a freshman, he had 11 in a game against Green Bay right here. And Agarwal, who's one of 3 players of Indian descent playing Division I college basketball. Neil Benawal of San Diego and Aman Sandhu of Manhattan are the other 2.
No, very unique, and you know, my hat's off, because he's not only playing well in the offensive end, he's made some hustle plays, he's played some good defense and secured some rebounds. So he's had the total game tonight. Benny Gieler doing a nice job on McLaughlin.
Carson Tout 2 on the shot clock off 1 foot. The offensive rebound, Jack Wistracell for the Lumberjacks.
That was a missed assignment underneath. That should have been a rebound.
Nice drop off inside and the drop in for Carson Tout.
NAU Roxy has had some success, and a lot of it this half, by penetrating. They found their way to the basket, and they've found open guys just by penetrating.
Oziyah Sellers rattles out, and the rebound, Trent McLaughlin. Inside 11.5 minutes. Stanford by 19. Curling off the screen, the pull-up jumper, and the roll for Ryan Abelman.
You know, Roxy, I'm a little bewildered, and I don't mean this critically, but it's just a coaching point. You're getting Maxime Raynaud playing one-on-one in the post, so you don't have to worry about helping on him. You got to get out there and get back to your guy, and Stanford hasn't done that.
Ryan Agarwal again. 15 now for Agarwal. 4 of 5 from 3.
There's your guy, Rox, and he's doing it. Oh my goodness, he's having a game.
Career night for Ryan Agarwal. Oakland Ford penetrates. And the push shot and the roll for Carson Tout.
Again, penetration, really a problem for Stanford, because they're allowing penetration. They're collapsing, as most defenses do, and they're getting burned on the dish out, pass, the drop off.
That's a lob for Raynaud. Underneath, Maxime Raynaud.
You know, Roxy, I really like.
And a technical's been called on Raynaud.
Well, he a little
going
bit too
back
much,
the other way.
Yeah, too much barking, but
So that'll also be a personal, the second on Raynaud. But Ryan Agarwal and the Cardinal up 20. Almost the midway point of the second half.
And when she needs to get on Maxine to get a little tougher, to step up, she doesn't mind getting after him. And I think it's worked, because she put the muscles up, did the flex, and then Maxine stepped up big time and responded. So sometime Mom knows best.
Well, she might want to get on him for the technical foul that he just got.
I think Dad will handle that one. I don't think he looked very happy about that. But we'll see. But you know, with Maxime Raynaud, Roxy, we've known him. You know, sometimes a little emotion's a good thing. I don't think you want. He's on the bench right now. You don't want the technicals, and you don't want the taunting. And he's pretty good sportsmanship by and large. But you know, to also be aggressive and have a little self-confidence, you know, I'm okay with that too. You don't want to play emotionless.
It's also a personal. So now Maxime Raynaud on the bench with 2 fouls after the Class A technical. Ryan Agarwal just picked up his 4th with 9:49 to go.
You know, he's behind, and when you're behind, you take a chance there. I'm not sure there's a lot of body contact, but he got caught behind, and Stanford kind of going to the 2-3 again, playing, and you got to play inside out if you're playing the zone. You can't play outside in terms of playing on the top side. You got to get down and put a hand across. And he was caught with both feet behind.
Team foul number 6 on Stanford, so the next one will put NAU into the bonus.
And Agarwal has to come out of the game with the 4, so that's a tough one. See if NAU can capitalize right now and nibble into this lead.
Career high 15 points for Agarwal tonight. And a foul off the inbound is going to the basket. Carson Tout will head to the free throw line for Northern Arizona.
Great change in direction by Carson Tout, the junior from Gilbert, Arizona. I think he looked to screen and slip. And if you're defending him, you're kind of helping out. And then he just read the defense and stepped right to the rim. Good play.
Third on Aiden Kamen. And one more for Tout, who comes up empty on the first one. The sixth-year senior, as Maxime Raynaud comes back in for Stanford. The Tout, who took a medical redshirt last year, was dealing with a back injury. Double-doubles in each of the first 2 games. And now he's got 9.
Well, they've chipped back into this again. Obviously, they still have they still have a ways to go, but they're making it tough for Stanford, and Stanford's got to really be careful not to allow them to get back into the game.
Oziyah Sellers gets the flyby and steps in and rattles in the long 2.
That's a great play for any young viewer watching. You're taking what the defense gives you. They take away the 3, you take one escape dribble, and you pull up for the 2, and that was done to perfection by Oziyah Sellers.
14 for Sellers. Grant McLaughlin has it stripped. Benny Keeler the steal. Head for Jalen Blakes. Sellers, offensive foul.
Well, yeah, Roxy, you got a 2-on-1. I thought Keeler did a good job, and he fans the ball out. But, you can see Benny Keeler's playing really tough. He gets in the passing lanes here and gets his hands on the ball. But he had a chance to get a 2-on-1 down there, and they centered the ball, and the defender was standing right there. So, unfortunately, they couldn't convert the steal.
There's maybe one pass too many.
Well, and again, you've got the ball back in the middle of the floor against one defender. Keep it wide. Stay lane wide.
Another steal for the Cardinal. He took it away from McLaughlin. 3-on-1. Jalen Blakes off the Benny Keeler feed.
And Roxy, that's the difference on that play. Benny Keeler went wide. They stayed wide. A defender can't guard 2 guys that are spaced like that. You throw the ball in the middle, he can guard the guy in the middle because he's already there. So great decision on that play to get it out wide and create a 2-on-1 to the basket.
Oakland Fort in the corner. And Maxime Raynaud, rebound number 9. Blake's on the attack. Blake's the step through, and Blake's is hammered and will go to the line. The first on Oakland Fort.
He's so dangerous in an open court. You can see him now. He gets the Euro step, steps across his defender, and forces his defender to guard going to the basket and have to foul. So really adept at getting to the free throw line. That's something he did at Duke. He could do it here. And you want him in the open court. Excellent player in open court basketball.
2 shots for the grad transfer from Duke, Somerset, New Jersey native. One more for Jalen Blakes. 7 for Blakes tonight. Stanford, by the way, for the ball game, 61% from the floor. And they've made 10 of 18 threes. And even with some of the inconsistency here in the second half, they're 67% from the floor. They're 10 for 15 from the field in the second half.
Now they're doing a great job, and you have some guys that can get you baskets on this team, no question.
Ten to shoot for Dylan Baker. And Baker high off the window.
Well, I like that play. Again, taking what the defense gives you, but the junior from Tucson really knows how to use the window.
Straight on. Blake's a 3.
He looks in the air, Roxy, like it's about time. I mean, it's been a drought, and that was
First
it.
3 this season for Jalen Blakes.
Yeah, I love the emotion
5
after that shot.
Cardinal now in double figures. And the Cardinal have matched their largest lead of the night. Powering his way through inside the roll for Ali Ragab.
Well, good job of positioning. I mean, he was 2 feet at the basket. Nothing you can do inside against the big fella from Egypt.
Maxime Raynaud recovers. And seals Ragab and lays it in.
Again, if you know Maxime Raynaud, you can't let him go to that left. He went there with a lot of ease, a lot of confidence. and scored against the big fella. Great.
21 for Raynaud. Trent McLaughlin rises on a three.
How easy does he make it look, Roxy, coming off of screens? I mean, if you trail him, which sometimes you have to do because you don't want to go underneath screens, so you trail him and you get him you're on his hip. It's too late. He's going to pull up and just has great range and quickness.
4 threes for McLaughlin. He's got 20, and the answer from Oziyah Sellers.
Well, that's contagious, Roxy. Both teams knocking down threes.
And rebound number 10. 3 consecutive double-doubles now for Maxime Raynaud to start the season. And that's a flagrant 1 foul on Jaden Jackson of Northern Arizona. He took a run right at Maxime Raynaud.
And Raynaud's shaking it off, but you know, Raynaud's going to have some physical play this year, I can tell you. Hopefully not with that kind of direction. They're going to look at this. Jalen Blake says, I am not with the 3 this year. Let me see if I can tee it up. He does. He's rewarded.
I mean, what is he doing? I'm wondering, did something happen at the other end that maybe set him off?
Yeah, maybe, you know, I don't know.
When he got knocked down there, yeah, but that's just a basketball play. He didn't get the call, so what?
Go ahead, Roxy, you can handle it.
Okay.
I'll let Roxy do it. Yeah, and then you can show it all the way through the Raynaud. Okay.
Okay. So this is the last sequence here, is you watch Jaden Jackson challenge on the play, basketball play, and he didn't make the shot, trying to make it over Maxime Raynaud, and then Raynaud grabs the rebound. And then not sure what Jaden Jackson was thinking, maybe to gamble for the steal, then realized too late to reach in, but it was a flagrant 1 foul on Jackson, which means Maxime Raynaud will shoot 2 and Stanford will have possession. And here from the rule book, excessive and unnecessary, which that was by Jaden Jackson, wasn't legitimate play on the ball.
Yeah, you know, Roxy, it almost looks like that's a play where you want to try to stop the clock and put a guy at the line, but not with 10 minutes to go in the half, or 6 minutes to go, and still a lot of basketball to play, so a little bit of a frustration play, and Maxime Raynaud, you know, has to shake it off now. Luckily, nobody got hurt, but you know, he's going to see some physical play this year, there's no question. Hopefully not like that.
Largest lead of the game. Stanford with 2 blowout wins in each of their first couple of games against Denver and then Cal State Fullerton, and they're up 25 here on Northern Arizona. Spinning Raynaud, trying to go to work. And Raynaud fading away. In the game, Jalen Thompson for Stanford. That is a shot clock violation. And for the Cardinal, that is only the 5th turnover tonight.
No, they've done a good job taking care of the basketball on that play particularly. I think Maxime had an opportunity to get some shots off and just took a little bit too much time because he had opportunities to score. He's been scoring pretty easily down there. Stanford now going to the 2-3.
That ball fumbled away. Dylan Baker tries to recover, and he's tied up, and we're going the other way. The arrow belongs to Stanford.
Well, I like the 2-3 zone, Roxy. If you followed Kyle Smith in his career, especially at Washington State last year, he really utilized this defense and played a lot of it for his team to get some success. You know, why do you play a zone? It kind of changes things up. It takes another team's scorer out because now the ball can't get in his hands and you can't design plays, and it keeps your big guy like Maxime Raynaud at home. So there's a lot of reasons if you're Stanford why you might go to a zone.
Stanford winning each of their first 2 games by 23 and then 27. As Jalen Thompson missing the drive, but a foul will get him to the line. First on Dylan Baker.
I like Stanford's ability, and specifically Jalen Thompson's ability, to get by people and go to the basket. And, sometimes you just have to make a play. And when you're getting pressured, you don't want to go east-west, go north-south.
Thompson, the sophomore, first point of the season. Played just 5 games last season, redshirted his first year on the farm. And the consensus 4-star recruit and top 100 player from Oakland who went to Southern California Academy.
Roxy, it's a long season, so anytime players can get in now and make their mark, it's really important. But Stanford, again, going back to work on their 2-3 zone. This has been successful for them at times this evening, and they're going to stick in it.
Lee Rickwood Pitt in the game, the junior from Australia. For Northern Arizona, the JC transfer from Eastern Arizona College. Dylan Baker rims out of 3. The rebound, Maxime Raynaud, and here comes Stanford again.
You are a white guy who cannot shoot.
Jalen Blake's the crossover pull-up and left it short. The hustle by Thompson to keep it alive. Now Sellers on the reload. Jalen Thompson skies for the rebound, and out of bounds. Lee Rickwood Pitt had his hands on the ball while he was over the end line. So it stays with Stanford at this end of the floor, and the hustle from Jalen Thompson.
Well, I love, that he's just not giving up on the play. He's athletic. He goes over the top of you, and he's saving Stanford another possession. Good use of his minutes here.
Thompson played 3 minutes in the opener against the Denver Pioneers. Did not get into the game last Friday against Fuller. And that one rims out for Oziyah Sellers, but last touch by the Lumberjacks. Inside 4.5 minutes to go. Aiden Cameron looking for Ryan Agarwal backdoor, but threw it away, and Northern Arizona comes away with it.
Well, NAU's still playing, Rox. They're still playing pretty good defense. Stanford's played so well offensively. It's tough to knock them off their game. Once you give a team confidence like Stanford's got, it's hard to make a mark and see if you can trim some points, or take some points away.
2-game road swing through Northern California for the Jacks as Jalen Blake, the steal and slam.
That's the dunk he wanted so bad, the poster shot earlier in the game, but he earned that one, Rox. He got his hands in the passing lane and off to the races.
We love you, Boogie. You gotta get Park involved.
2-3 zone's been a staple here, and they're making it work.
Thursday night, Northern Arizona will be in Stockton playing Pacific. After a couple of NAIA opponents to start their season and 2-0 coming in, competition getting tougher when they deal with Stanford and then Pacific. And there is a whistle underneath. And a push called, but Stanford, after being threatened, firmly in control now. 86-57, the Cardinal leading the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona.
Cal Poly, a new coach, new team, but they can play. So, yeah, looking forward to Stanford now having to step up their schedule in 5 of their next 6 games for sure. Norfolk State's also had some success, so we'll see.
One more for Carson Tout, the transfer from Cal Baptist. And he rattles the second one in.
If you're NAU, Roxy, you can take what you did in the first half and the second half to start these halves. If they can multiply that, they're going to be tough to deal with because they really came out on fire both halves.
Tallis Toure in the game, the freshman from Roseville, posting up down low, and he is grabbed by Ali Ragab. Second on Ali Ragab. And with Stanford in the bonus, rather they're not in the bonus, I should say, the 4th team foul only on Northern Arizona. Also in the game is Darren Saran, the sophomore, the transfer from UC Irvine, and the native of Turkey. As Toure fires a three, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Cardinal. Also, Anthony Batson Jr. in, the freshman from Scottsdale for the first time. Kyle Smith going deeper into his bench. The lob that hit the side of the backboard, now breaking out of the pack. Here comes the freshman Batson across the key. Anthony Batson Jr. with his first college points.
Well, he's athletic, Roxy. He's a good-looking player. He's been in some games already this year, and when he comes in, he's a pretty exciting player to watch. Keep an eye on him because he may get some increased minutes as the year goes on.
Inside 10 to shoot. Lee Rickwood Pitt with the left hand could not convert, and the rebound tracked down by Darren Saran. Jalen Thompson. Monty Bowser nails a corner three.
Well, he can do that. We've seen him do that in his career. He's a streaky shooter, but when he gets it going, Roxy, he knocks him down.
He had a career-high 19 a couple of years ago for Cal in the Pac-12 tournament against Kyle Smith of Washington State.
And I remember that. And we talked about that before the game. Monty Bowser, has the ability to score. He was a prolific three-point shooter coming out of high school, and now he's getting an opportunity in his senior year to play at NAU. So look for him to increase his minutes and his production as this season goes on.
Cameron Grant in the game, the redshirt freshman for the Cardinal. As Ryan Agarwal's evening is done with a career-high 15, is Grant from Lakewood, Ohio. Third walk-on is Batson missing a three, and the rebound grab by Ali Regal. Cameron Grant's dad, Chris, former GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Diego Camposano launching a three, and the rebound grab by Grant for the Cardinal. Nice pass to a cutting Talis Toure, the reverse land.
I like that two-man game there. Very fundamental, the screen, the roll, and the find. I mean, that's good basketball, Roxy. Those plays bring your confidence up. Those are plays that could earn you some playing time as the season goes on.
And a steal by Anthony Batson Jr. Stanford can just about play for the last shot if they want, as Batson has his shot blocked out of bounds.
Well, Anthony Batson, Roxy, got 4 steals in his previous game. So, he's active. Things are going to happen when he's on the floor. Extremely athletic, good anticipation. Good-looking player as a freshman. He's going to try again, like most of these guys, try to get into this lineup. But I think if you need somebody to spark you defensively, he can do that.
C.J. Ford brings it up for the Lumberjacks. Final 15 seconds, so Stanford will improve to 3-0 for the first time since they started the 2019-2020 season, 7-0. As Diego Camposano with the bucket. That should do it for tonight. And Stanford, after trailing by as many as 9 early in this game, they pull away 90-64. They take down Northern Arizona as 5 Cardinal in double figures, led by 22 for Maxime Raynaud and 11 rebounds. Ryan Agarwal, a career 15. So the Cardinal 3-0. They'll get ready